I'm Jacob Hamilton.
And I'm Hidro Joseph.
Welcome back to the Hardwood Huddle basketball podcast, where we break down the latest news and games in the NBA and basketball world. Hidro, how you doing, man?
I'm good. Happy birthday to us. My birthday was
Yes,
last Sunday. Your birthday is coming up on Wednesday.
Wednesday. I'm
Cool,
turning
cool.
into Unk,
Yeah.
slowly but surely.
Yeah. You, you, according to all the teens, you're there.
Yeah, right.
You're
04 and
there.
you're Unk, which is ridiculous. Like that's not even Unk status to me. Like my brother ain't even Unk, and he's 27 years old. Like, come on now, like gotta put some respect on people's names. These children, they're wilding out.
It's like as soon
But,
as you're an adult, you're an unk. All right, I guess.
right? You hit 18 and you're just officially Unk status to these Gen Z, I think is that generation's called. I don't even know. But might as well just jump into the NBA news and stop yapping. Luka Doncic signed a 3-year contract extension with Los Angeles Lakers for $165 million and a player option in 2028. So thoughts on Luka's 3-year 165 extension with the LA Lakers?
Well, first of all, congrats to him for receiving that because he got traded to a new team and
Yep.
they did not get the results that they wanted in the playoffs last year, where they were eliminated in the first round by the Minnesota Timberwolves, a team that Luka Doncic got by the year before.
Yep.
So a lot of onus on him to get in better basketball shape, better basketball condition to endure the rigors of the season and be able to lead the team
Yep.
with LeBron co-lead to another strong playoff run. So the new ownership with the Lakers coming in believes in him, which is a good thing, and they show that with putting their money forward and giving him that max extension, and also giving him a player option, which I find interesting that
Yeah.
they allowed their top, basically their top guy and future franchise leader, the ability to check out in 3 years. So uh, I think that's confidence in Luka Doncic and belief in that he can carry them in the future. So shout out
Yep.
to Luka. I think it's a good move by the Lakers to be able to secure him because it was up in on up in the air if he would even sign an extension.
Yeah.
Maybe he would wait to see what they would do and just become a free agent next year, in which he could resign for more money. Uh, and there were teams that are ready to start clearing out cap space. Miami Heat being one of them for the 2026 offseason to prepare to offer him a max contract. So good for him. Good for the Lakers.
Yeah, no, I mean the Heat. I always love when the Heat are always in the conversations to get the conversations to get these big name free agents, and I'm just waiting for one day that they do land one of them. Maybe it's Giannis come next season, or maybe even at the deadline back to just a different environment. But yeah. Congratulations to Luka. 165 for three that's a lot of money, more than I would ever imagine I would ever have in my life, but that shows that, I mean, for me at least, it shows he wants to win a championship in LA. And I'm pretty sure he said that himself. He's like, I want to win championships here. This is a place with a historic resume and just history behind itself. And like you said, with the new ownership, has faith in him and to get into game shape like we've seen. But maybe it's one of those average off-season things where we're like, oh, Luka's looking skinny. Luka's looking super skinny. He was on the cover of Men's Health, I believe, and now everyone's like, we're getting skinny Luka. But I feel like we've always thought we were getting skinny Luka every year, and come the trade deadline, he's looking not on the skinny end of things. But yeah, I mean, it shows he wants to win a championship in LA and has a lot of faith in the front office to get him to that point, because obviously he can't do that himself. Obviously, with the offseason signings of DeAndre and Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, an A-plus offseason, I'd say, for the Lakers and themselves, just getting Luka to sign that extension when it was so up in the air if he was even going to do that. And I always thought that was interesting. I was like, there's no way he doesn't. When he instantly got traded, it was like, I'm happy to be here. Like, time to put the Mavericks in the past pretty much. He really didn't even want to talk about them. And obviously neither would I if they just traded me in the middle of the night unexpectedly. But yeah, it shows that he has a lot of faith in the front office, and hopefully championships are in his future in LA. But yeah, any final thoughts?
Do you believe that to be the case?
Do
you believe that to be the case?
I think so. I think he's a championship player. I mean, he brought the Mavericks not last season, but the season before to the finals. Like, I think he can totally do that again. I think obviously that was a different type of roster. That roster was built literally for Luka Doncic, and obviously Kyrie Irving was there, but he also does have LeBron James, debatably, and in my opinion, the greatest player of all time. And I think in 3 years we could see the Lakers in the finals. Maybe if not this season, right? Like, they're having a weird, not like a super crazy offseason by signing these big names, but on the buyout market, Marcus Smart and, like I said, DeAndre and Jake LaRavia on day one of free agency. But yeah, I totally think that they can get it done in the next 3 years with this contract. And then when this contract's up, he gets to sign that supermax that he was thinking that he was going to get in Dallas. Now he's got a 165 for 3. But yeah, I mean, do you think that on this contract that the Lakers can get to the finals at least? Maybe not win it, but get there and show the world that they're back in a sense?
It's to be determined. It really depends on how new ownership approaches this CBA and spending and all that stuff. A lot of new owners like to come in and spend with both hands, and it doesn't really pan out for them.
No.
So it's not necessarily about how much you're willing to spend, but the ways you spend it. So I'm not really sure about how they will move forward, other than they seem to intend on keeping the GM Pelinka and Jeannie Buss running the basketball operations.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure exactly what changes, but time will tell.
Yeah, like everything else, it just takes time to see. But no, I'm happy for Luka. I'm happy for the Lakers. I like seeing 77 in gold. I cannot lie. I think it's a beautiful jersey with that number on it. But on to another NBA superstar, Joel Embiid. A tweet came out today per Brett Siegel NBA. There is genuine concern around the league about Joel Embiid's knee health. And before we jump into this, I'm just going to go through all of Joel Embiid's injuries that have made him miss games. And obviously some of these are sore hands and backs and ankles and stuff, but I'm going to go through as quick as I can. So left knee surgery, sore knee, back tightness, sore back, sore hands, sore ankle.
We're going to be here all day.
We're going to be here for a while, but I got to go over them because it's important for Joel Embiid's history. Facial contusion, ankle, migraine, left knee soreness, ankle, back, rest, illness, left knee soreness, rest, load management, knee, left knee soreness, knee, upper respiratory infection, ankle, hip, illness, knee, hand, neck, shoulder, ankle, wrist, back, health protocols, back, knee, back, knee, back, ankle, health and safety protocols, knee, rest, shoulder, injury recovery, illness, knee, right knee, rest, health and safety protocols, ribs, ankles, elbows, rest, knee rest, illness, foot, a bunch of foots, calf, knee, I mean, I can just keep going through all this stuff. It's a bunch of knee problems, right? Just like I said, I mean, knee health is big for Joel Embiid, and obviously, and just kind of some thoughts. When I saw this tweet, I was like, because I had just sent it to you because we were getting ready to almost boot up the show. It was an hour till we started, and I was like, we should talk about this. Like, this tweet went out, and obviously we have to take everything with a grain of salt. NBA Twitter and these reporters might not have all the information, but it's something that's concerning to hear, right? So thoughts for me, just initial thoughts. This might be an overreach here, but are we witnessing the end of Joel Embiid before even next season starts, right? Like, because he tends to come back and everything like that we saw in that latest article that came out on ESPN about his time in Philly with all of his injury problems and all that. They tend to rush him back when he, as a rookie, he probably shouldn't have even played that second season. In his opinion, he thought. And I mean, he just won an MVP, right? Not last season, but the season before, right? I believe the season before that.
2023.
2023. I mean, that feels like yesterday. Yeah, but he just won an MVP. He's an MVP caliber player when he's healthy. I mean, everybody knows that. I don't think that's something that anybody's going to disagree with. He's top 10 when healthy, in my opinion. But obviously, it sucks to say that healthy in quotes because it's you never know what's going on with Joel Embiid. But yeah, those are just my initial thoughts on this Joel Embiid injury concern. Your thoughts?
I'm not sure if Philadelphia is operating like they're concerned.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they have built the team in preparation for a finals run.
Yeah.
If the team is healthy, they have just as good a roster as anybody in the Eastern Conference to make a finals run, given that the Pacers will be shorthanded, the Celtics will be shorthanded, Milwaukee's off and on.
It's just Giannis pretty much and Miles Turner.
Yeah. Miami is a team, even with fully healthy, is a playing team.
Yeah. Atlanta. The top four in the East almost kind of is looking like, if everything healthy, concern for next season. The Sixers, the Hawks, the Knicks, and the Cavs, right? Like kind of just like quick. Those are like the top four. I feel like, for me at least.
A healthy 76ers team has better depth and an MVP caliber player than all of those teams, actually.
Yeah. No, I mean, especially with VJ Edgecombe and a guy who got hurt last year, Jared McCain, right? Like we saw Jared McCain going crazy and then tore his ACL or did something in his knee. Why is it everything with the knee with the 76ers? I don't understand. It's just terrible injury luck that they have, like,
they gotta
hanging
fire
over
their knee guy. They got
right.
Their knee
The
guy.
knee doctor is not doing his job and not making sure everything is all right in the knees of these players. Because I mean, and also like Paul George got hurt, right? I'm pretty sure last episode we reported that he got hurt just like practicing around, like shooting around, like doing normal offseason stuff for him. Like it kind of doesn't seem like it's going to end for the Sixers right now. And obviously Paul George isn't the caliber of the player he used to be. But it's still just ridiculous.
Yeah, we'll see about them. It really depends on their health, but I do feel like a healthy 76ers team could make a run. And I guess we'll get into that discussion more whenever we do predictions for the next season. Future podcast.
We got some time before then. Even how many months till then? Oh, it can't come soon enough. I'm bored. There's nothing crazy going on right now other than adult items being thrown on the WNBA courts, which is crazy and ridiculous. That's very off topic, but that's something that's just happening in the basketball world. But that in baseball.
Eurobasket. I believe Eurobasket's going to start soon.
There we go. Something for me to watch. Some more ball for me to watch. I'm bored, man. I'm just sitting here watching nothing and playing college football. That's all I've been doing. But on to another saga, I guess it is what I have it labeled here. The Jonathan Kuminga saga for the Golden State Warriors. Obviously a restricted free agent, currently unsigned in that weird restricted free agency market with him, Josh Giddey, and Cam Thomas. Maybe I'm forgetting somebody else, but just those three are kind of like the biggest names in that restricted market. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on the Jonathan Kuminga saga that's going on?
Nobody has cap space.
Yeah.
Nobody's trying to contend, for sure.
Yeah.
So you're left with, based on the new CBA, you're left with very few options when it comes to bargaining chip.
Yeah.
It's basically you're trying to beg your team to let you go if you don't want to be there in
Hmm.
a trade, and it doesn't seem like the team doing the trading gets fair value in return
Yeah.
because they're not bidding against anybody. It's no bidding war, so there's
Yeah.
no incentives to throw in. Let me throw in a first round pick and all that different stuff. So
Yeah.
you're kind of stuck with, hey, I'm gonna need to eventually just sign the restricted free agent contract for 1 year and be a unrestricted free agent in next season.
Yeah.
Um, and there's risk to that. You have potential injury risk,
Yeah.
and lowering of your value, and then the market is really quick
Yeah.
in free agency. That money can dry up like within
Yeah.
24 hours of free agency starting
Exactly.
next year. People will come to agreements before free agency even opens up.
Yeah.
So you have somewhat of a down year, and you're looking at getting paid a lot less than what Golden State is offering, which is a reasonable extension amount. But Kuminga wants more. He feels like he deserves more. I personally don't think he deserves more,
Yeah.
but um, I would definitely see it in his eyes if he did sign that restricted free agent contract and just became an unrestricted free agent next year. When you sign those, by the way, I believe have you have like temporary rights of refusal when it comes to trades. Like,
Oh, okay.
so you have to agree to a trade in order for a team to trade you.
Yeah.
Um, so that's that's the only real that's the only real plus side. But otherwise, it's almost you playing without insurance.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing about this whole Jonathan Kuminga and everybody else's situation that's going on. Like what you said, like all the money's dried up. Like there's like Cam Thomas, like obviously this is another guy, not Jonathan Kuminga, but once what reportedly wanted $25 million a year, like at the start of free agency.
He's the guy that needs to stay where he's at because
Right.
that's where the playing time is, and he can easily just play his way into a bigger deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And that 25 million a year is gone. Like I don't like the Nets have money, I'm pretty sure, but I don't think they have the want and the need to give out 25 million to him. But back to Jonathan Kuminga, I mean, like reportedly 14 mil a year was offered to him. I don't think there was a team behind that. I was just watching another show on ESPN and they were talking about it 14 mil. I don't think they mentioned the name, but for me, I think Jonathan Kuminga, either if he signs a contract extension with Golden State, which that's what he's going to have to do anyway, because they're just going to match it, which is ridiculous because they don't play him in the first place. Steve Kerr kind of reportedly has something against Jonathan Kuminga, which is interesting because it's like they tried this two timeline thing at one time. They tried to win the championships with Steph and Clay and Draymond while having Moody and Kuminga. Like, I mean, Moody has broke into the rotation in a sense now, without Clay being there, and just adds more depth to the team. But Jonathan Kuminga, when he's on the court, I'm pretty sure his averages were like 20 points a game on like not a lot of minutes, like on the time that we saw, like the limited time that we saw Jonathan Kuminga.
I think it was
So
like 15.
yeah, so yeah, like it's still 15. That's respectable. Like that's what people want to see, and obviously give him another team and another location with actual people wanting him to be there, right? Like that's people want to see that. Like I want to see Jonathan Kuminga break out of this shell. And the two teams that I have written down here and that I feel like have been reported the most are the Phoenix Suns and the Sacramento Kings. I feel like those two. Maybe I'm forgetting one. I thought I was when I was writing down the teams. But yeah, the Suns and the Kings, I'm pretty sure, are the top
You could
two.
just pencil in Miami for all of the rumors.
Miami, yeah, like even Miami's a good spot for him with Bam and Tyler Hero and stuff. Like I would not hate that destination for him at all. Actually, not like I actually like that on paper now that I think about it. But no, like those three are like the destinations that have the people to send, right? Because his value is tanked. When you don't play a guy the caliber of Jonathan Kuminga, his value goes down a lot, and especially with this stalemate right now in restricted free agency. And they're probably trying to find a trade, and then once that trade is agreed on, he'll sign that contract and instantly get shipped over to that next team.
I heard they wanted four first round picks in return.
That's ridiculous. They'll never get 4 first round picks for him. They'll never get 4 first round picks and everything. And obviously, I'm on Suns Twitter. I'm a Suns fan. The offseason, it made like the stuff that I was seeing was like maybe a first round pick and like another shooter along with the deal if that's Royce O'Neal or Grayson out. They're not going to get anything back. And I think probably their best bet, the Warriors' best bet to make this trade probably is the Kings, because I thought I saw something maybe last week. The Kings are trying to decide between Devin Carter and Malik Monk. I think they're trying to like toss up between the two of those. So
I heard it was Malik Monk and a 2030 first round pick on either restricted or unrestricted. I'm not sure. Probably restricted, lottery restricted.
If I'm the Warriors,
that should be a good deal considering Sacramento is probably going to give you a lottery pick.
Yeah.
In 5 years. So, but no, seems like they're not biting on that. And the only way Kuminga's getting out of there is via trade. Nobody can sign him outright and then give the Warriors the opportunity to match because they don't have the funds.
Exactly. And that's why restricted free agency is something that's probably going to be revisited once the new collective bargaining agreement comes across the table for the NBPA, because it's just a weird spot to be in. Like we have like big guys, like big name guys that like can go to places and teams want these guys, but it's just like the Bulls, the Nets, and the Warriors are just like the puppet masters of these three guys. Just like, hey, like you're not going to do anything until you agree to something to us. Like it has to be for us first, and then we'll send you depending on where you want on the package we get. But yeah, that's the Jonathan Kuminga saga thus far. But we're gonna now go into our. If you watched last episode, we did our top 15 all time, and like I said in last episode before we got into this list is totally changeable for me. It's day by day, and you have to take everything with a grain of salt, just because I think these lists are.
Sounds like you're backtracking.
No, I said that in the first 30 seconds. I'm pretty sure of that last episode. But no, I'm not going to back down from my list. If I am, then I am. But if I'm not too worried about it, because it changes by day for me. But top 15 recap. So we're gonna go into our list. I have 4 names written down here from Hidro's list that stood out to me the most at the positions that he did have them or did not have them in. And then I'm guessing the same thing for me as well, is what we're going over. The ball's in your court. It's up to you. You go ahead, start.
Oh, I'm just gonna recap my list. You can recap yours. Did you want to recap yours real quick? Go ahead.
Yes. You start yours because I have to pull mine up.
Oh, I got yours in front of me. You want me to? I'll give you yours.
Yeah.
Number 1 was LeBron James.
Yep.
Number 2 was Michael Jordan. Number 3 was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Number 4 was Magic Johnson. Number 5 was Shaquille O'Neal. Number 6 was Tim Duncan. Number 7 was Dirk Nowitzki. Number 8 was Hakeem, the Dream, Olajuwon.
Yep.
Number 9 was Steph Curry. 10, Kevin Durant. 11, Kobe Bryant. 11, Kobe Bryant.
Yep.
11, Kobe Bryant. Number 12, Larry Bird. 13, Bill Russell. 14, Wilt the Stilt Chamberlain. And 15, the Big O, Oscar Rose. As for myself, I have the same top 3 in the same order. Number 4, I had my boy KD, Kevin Durant. Number 5, Magic Johnson. Number 6, Kobe Bean. Number 7, Steph Curry. Number 8, Larry Bird. Number 9, Wilt Chamberlain. 10, Shaquille O'Neal. 11, Hakeem Olajuwon. 12, Jerry West. 13, Tim Duncan. 14, Julius Erving. And 15, Russell Westbrook.
Yep. All right. So how we want to do this, we want to go from, because I have like I said, I have four names written down here from your list that just kind of not more or less like judging, because I mean it's an opinionated list, but more or less kind of just the ones that surprised me the most. And obviously we talked about it a little bit on last episode, but I'll just start with the first one. Russ at 15. I loved that pick. I'm a Russ fan. He's the guy that genuinely got me into the NBA. I love Russ. Obviously, triple-double king, in my opinion. You can't average as many as he did and not be the king. So, yeah, Russ at 15 was genuinely probably the most surprising one to me on that list. And I feel like a lot of people would agree with that one as well. I'm not hating. I like it just because I love Russ. And then I'll just go down to the 4 that I have. Tim Duncan at 13 was a surprising one to me. Obviously, Tim Duncan is a guy who a lot on everybody else's list, I feel like is a top 10 player, top 7 on some lists that you see, and I like mine. And then Kevin Durant at number 4. I love that. I'm a KD fan. I think KD has a lot of hate for no reason, just because of what he did one time and made a decision to go win championships. And then Dirk not being in your top 15 was very surprising to me. A guy that I feel like globally is the word I'm going to use, because I can't think of the right word. That is like a top 12 to 10 guy, like a top 10 guy on some people's list, like mine. Yeah, so those were the 4 that surprised me the most out of the top 15 of your list as well.
All right, so just to break down your issues with or likes with my list, I'll start off by saying I did mention when it comes to my list, we're talking about players and not necessarily counting stats per se when it comes to team championships. So I believe that individual championships mean something to a degree. Like you're not going to be on my list and you're not going to be in like my top 10 and not have any rings to show for it type thing.
Yeah.
However, at the end of the day, those team awards, you need a whole team. Like I can honestly remember a singular guy, Robert Horry, is probably responsible for the why Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal, Tim Duncan, Hakeem Olajuwon, all these players are even on the list or even discussed in the first place.
Yeah.
But Robert Horry is not going to make anybody's list. Derek Fisher's not going to make anybody's list. Steve Kerr's not going to make anybody's list. Guess what? If they don't have those guys, that all these players we're talking about are not sitting on the number of rings they're sitting on. So I can't sit here and say team accomplishments are the barometer in which I'm going to justify what my list looks like. And that's the reason you got guys like Bill Russell not making my top of the list, because I'm going by just individual play.
Yeah.
And as good of a defender as he was, there just wasn't enough on like both sides of the ball in order for me to be like, this guy on top of his team accomplishments is going to make hay when it comes to the other guys on the list. When you're talking about Shaquille O'Neal and stuff like that, I feel like those guys would have had him for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So it's just individually how I saw fit with these guys. So guys like Dirk Nowitzki, guys like Karl Malone, guys like Chris Paul, Nikola Jokic, those guys just aren't there when it comes to both the counting stats and the accomplishments.
Yeah.
So Russell Westbrook is a triple-double king and one of the most athletic players to ever play his position, if not
Absolutely.
the most
The
athletic player
most
to ever play his
athletic. I mean,
position.
other than like Derrick
Um,
Rose.
Also has an MVP. Also has played in the NBA Finals,
Yeah.
and played on really good teams. I feel that at some point, a guy like Nikola Jokic will pass him,
Yeah.
but not yet.
Yeah.
And there's a good reason for that. Like a lot of people, like Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, a lot of people looked at their championship run a little bit questionably given certain circumstances. Denver being that they played at 8th seed in the finals, which is not their fault, and it seemed like they had a pretty easy go of it. They didn't really get pushed,
Yeah.
and the post COVID or during COVID season that the Milwaukee Bucks won their championship was a weird season in which a lot of players were in and out. The schedule was wonky. They started the season, I think, in December or something like that, and
Yeah.
it was just kind of a weird place to be in when it came to the NBA. So it's kind of like I need to see more. And when I start seeing like first round exits for Giannis and Jokic not being effective enough to get over the hump in Game Sevens of the semifinals, there's more to be said for their stories.
Yeah.
In terms of like Dirk, could um, he had his highs, he had his lows. At the end of the day, there was a lot of lows at the beginning of his career and a lot of lows at the end of his career, and his peak didn't last quite as long as Russell Westbrook, despite the more longevity. I think that Russell Westbrook might get up to 20 seasons as well and still
Yeah.
have way better counting stats than Dirk Nowitzki, despite the fact that Dirk Nowitzki's got a championship ring and a Finals MVP. So that's where I'm at with that. What was the other one? Tim Duncan was too low. Again, his counting stats didn't look very good. If you take a look at that, for a guy who's renowned for his defensive acumen, a lot of players crushed him one on one. Amari Stoudemire is a guy I could think of off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant. He never won a Defensive Player of the Year before. A lot of it was I'm not gonna say I give more credit to Greg Popovich and all that stuff, but I do give credit to the Spurs as a team. They were tough to play,
Yeah.
and they were able to draft smartly internationally. And as a team, they were difficult. I feel like Bruce Bowen was more effective in a lot of cases than the big names and Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili at times.
Mhm.
Tim Duncan had some really good years, but it felt kind of short. I feel like '03 to '06 was really Tim Duncan's kind of heavy window in which he played like otherworldly. But
Yeah.
that's a short window given the longevity of his career. And what was your other one? Kevin Durant. You like how
Yeah.
high he
Katie.
was? I honestly put him up there. I think there's no better three-level scorer plus the free throw line in NBA history than Kevin Durant. If LeBron were to retire after this season and Kevin Durant just continues playing like he's been playing, he could potentially catch him in points.
Yeah.
He's going to pass Michael Jordan this season in points.
Yeah. He'll jump up like 3 spots this season because they're all so like the margins are so small.
Yeah, his defensive acumen proved prophetic on the Warriors and to some extent in Brooklyn, and he's responsible for the reason why Steph Curry is a little lower on my list because he got the Finals MVPs.
Yeah.
During their run, so that's how Steph Curry is 7 and not higher potentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kevin Durant. So that was me. As for you, let's see what I got
Let's
here.
just start with the big one. I mean, right? Like, I mean, you're gonna obviously mention Kobe, I assume.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant, number 11. I'll let you have the floor. Go ahead. What you got about that?
No. So obviously, no disrespect to Kobe. This isn't something that this hasn't been an opinion that I've just freshly came up with.
That's disrespect.
It ain't disrespect. It's all opinions. It's all opinions, and opinions can't be disrespectful. No, but in the margin between 6 and 11, like what I said on the previous show, it's not there's not that much. There's not a lot of room between everybody on that list there. But no, Kobe at 11. Obviously, he won his 3 championships, or he won 3 championships with Shaq. Obviously, Shaq is high on my list as being the most dominant basketball player we've ever seen in his prime, of course, because obviously at the tail end, that went away as he got older and fatter. But no, yeah. And Kobe,
hold that thought for my next argument.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yep. And then so obviously he got the 3 with Shaq. And for me, hold on, let me pull up. I have it on my list here. The criteria for my list was skill, rings, and dominance, right? Because skill and dominance to me is a little different. You can be a super highly skilled player, but not be super dominant. There's just like a difference between the two, for me at least. But yeah, like what I said, 18-time All-Star, 15-time All-NBA. He's a 1-time NBA MVP, and awards don't mean the most to me, but winning 1 MVP and supposedly being a top 3 player of all time on a lot of people's list, that doesn't add up to me. And obviously winning the 3-peat with Shaq, he did have Shaq on that team, and obviously he went to the finals 3 times after that and won 2 of those. So obviously you have to give that respect in a sense. He did 12-time defensive, one of the best defensive guards, right? But no, for some reason, it's just an opinion of mine that I don't think Kobe's a better basketball player than Kevin Durant. I don't think Kobe's a better basketball player than Steph. Or actually, no, Steph, I don't think he's better than Steph. I think Tim Duncan's better. I think Dirk is better, in my opinion. I think Shaq is better. Obviously, he won the 3-peat on that team, and same goes for the top 3 that we both shared. So yeah, that's my reason for Kobe being at 11. Like I prefaced, there's not a lot of margins between 6 and 11. Like a lot of it can be switched out. It just depends on the mood that I'm in.
With that being said, you had Shaq, most dominant ever, is what you said.
Yeah.
But he kind of tailed off at the end there.
Yeah.
How far at the end there do you think he tailed off? Was it 4, 5, 6 years, maybe more?
Let me pull up the basketball reference so I can get my information.
The reason why I asked is because you have this man number 5,
and that's what I'm saying. Like that's for like that 5, because like we talked about.
Anybody's having that high.
That was because I was looking at my list, and funny enough, I was talking about my list last night with a bunch of people, and they were like, "This list is crazy." I was like, "It's crazy because like it's just not like the regular list, right?" But for me, like the pure dominance of Shaq, right? Like from 92 to 90, or from 92 all the way to 2005, 2006, like 2005, 2005. I'll give him that. Like that's where it kind of started after he won that championship with Dwayne Wade in Miami. But like that 92, that's 13 years. Like that's no joke of being a ridiculous dominant force in the NBA. A guy that like people were like I don't want to say scared because it's basketball and you shouldn't be scared of somebody in basketball, but like scared enough on the court, right? Like, I mean, tearing down rims. Other people do that. They break it. He was like legit, like breaking the hinges of the rims. They were like falling into the place, like his strength and the skill of that. And obviously his footwork and the paint is like super underrated in my opinion. And people just think it's just a lot of like pure back down and just a lot of bully ball. Obviously that was there, but I think his skill was a lot more expanded than that. And obviously people I feel like tend to forget Shaq, like obviously wasn't a high assist guy, but he would get the ball out. He would find people if there were times where it was like, if you had a back cutter. I mean, Shaq, I've seen plenty of clips of Shaq just dropping off back cuts and doing all that. Like, I think his skill is a lot more wide, right? If that's the right word to use. I think his skill is a lot wider than people genuinely believe, instead of just thinking he's just a drop step. I'm just going to elbow you down and lay you up. Yeah, I'm going to do that, but like I'm going to do it and make it look good at the same time, and being the most dominant in the NBA for so long. What's happening? You good?
Well, the way Shaq is a knock for me is out of your top five, he's the only one with a discernible weakness, which is free
Yeah,
throws. To the
that's
point
true.
where anybody could arguably guard him, just foul him, and
Yeah,
tell the ref that you're declaring an intentional foul so he could go to the free throw line. And more often than not, you would save your team from giving up 2 points.
yeah.
And that's, to me, is a knock. If he was to shoot a league average at the free throw line, he probably would have been like fourth or fifth in scoring.
No, 100%. His
That
free throw ability was like it was a joke. Like there was no intention for him to even fix that from what he was. For me, he even said it himself. Like he'd rather be he wish he had fixed that in his playing days. What is going on the stream? You're good. Just want to preface: we're having issues with our platform that we record on. It's pissing me off. So if there's any random cuts and we sound stupid because we're saying the same point again, that's on the platform, not on us. We're trying our best over here on this platform. But go right ahead.
Yeah. Another thing with Shaq, during his peak, there was an argument that he was overweight at the time, and that's what contributed to a lot of his injuries and missed time.
Mhm.
So I just personally, I'm not a big fan of the lack of, like, I can't put somebody that high on my list, and he had a questionable work ethic that potentially led to a lot of his losing that could have otherwise been prevented. I'll give an example. He mentioned that they knocked off the Bulls in 1995, and Michael Jordan got tossed out of the playoffs early in his heyday. But then they won in the conference finals and went to go party and stuff instead of prepare for their finals opponent in the Houston Rockets. And they come into the finals with home court advantage and get swept. So if he had better work ethic and was more focused on uh, on the finals, maybe there would have been a better result. That's not dominant to me. It's almost like you're doing it based off of skill, and the minute there's an injury, a big toe or something like that, now you're losing 20, 30 games, and you having the rest of the team have to pick up the slack for you.
Yeah. No, the work ethic is his biggest knack, right? Like that, and obviously being overweight, but that kind of like contributes into it.
Yeah, I think Orlando, he should have at least potentially had a ring there if he was as dominant as you say he was from 92 to 96. He got his rings in LA, but they claimed he was out of shape for a good majority of them. As well as they romped through the 2001 playoffs, they had a somewhat rough 2001, I believe, because of his injuries. And then you have when he went to the Miami Heat, they should have won at least two, but his injury was once again kind of creep up, and he wasn't as dominant as he should have been. And then the tail off after that, playing for a bunch of random teams. So and the last one for me, I just wanted to say it's very interesting that you have Larry Bird so low. I think he's too low, in my opinion. No guy can win the MVP in the league 3 times.
Yeah, no, and that's
only be 12.
And obviously that's what I'd give Larry Bird is that three-peat of MVP, the last guy to do it, I believe it. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I'm pretty sure he was. But the thing is,
whenever the only guy to do it.
Was he really the only guy to do it? 3 in a row? I thought somebody else did it, and I'm blanking. Maybe he was, but the thing for me was when making my list, and before I even made my list, and before I even knew you, and before when I first got into basketball, there was like when the time came of when Kevin Durant was like, for me, putting into the top 15 conversations, it was a lot of it for me was like hey, I think obviously these two guys, they're not comparable because they're not. But it was kind of like that battle for me between those two guys. And obviously I believe I had KD at 10 and Bird at 12. So there's still that 2 gap between them, or 1 technically. But yeah, I think Bird's shooting ability isn't as good as comparable to these guys. I just think that people say one of the best 3-point shooters. You can't be one of the best 3-point shooters when you're taking 2 a game, 1 a game. And obviously that was the time, and 3 a game, right? And that was the time, and I can't knack anybody for that. And obviously being 12 on a list is respectable.
The 3-point line did not come out until he started his career.
People still like to say
so it's not like he grew up
one of the
with
greatest mid-range shooters and greatest shooters. But I don't think he's one of the best.
But how do you know? How do you know that those shots weren't from 3-point range? There just wasn't a 3-point line until his career started.
Stats, though, you have to kind of go with that. It just wasn't there.
Yeah, I think the season his rookie year, I think, is when the 3-point line came out. And it's kind of
and I think
nobody's shooting 10 threes a game.
Was getting moved. It moved a couple of times, back and then back to where it was. I'm pretty sure. Maybe that's wrong, but maybe that's just something I weirdly know. But yeah, no, I think
Bill Russell and Will Chamberlain also won 3 MVPs in a row.
Okay,
but those are the only 3 guys.
Yeah, no, and like I prefaced, there's no disrespect to anybody on this list because it's my opinions, but no. Like what I was saying, Bird, I don't think he's as great of a 3-point shooter as everybody says he was and is, right? I think KD's a better 3-point shooter. I think KD's the greatest scorer we've ever seen in this game next to LeBron. I think LeBron's in the top 3. I mean, he's the all-time leading scorer. How can you not be one of the greatest to be the leader? Same with Kareem. But no, yeah, I think him, that 3-point thing for him was a lot of people's backbone to having Bird so high on people's list. But for me, I was just Ray Allen, Reggie, Clay, Steph, KD, Dame. I mean, you can keep going on just way better 3-point shooters. But Bird is one of the best shooters because of his mid-range ability. His mid-range ability is what actually made him super elite. From my knowledge, I wasn't there, I wasn't around, but just from everything that I've seen and just read on, that was what kind of that the 3-point ability knocks him down my list. That's what moves him down my list. If he truly was this greatest 3-point shooter that is said, he would be a lot higher on my list. But I just don't think you can be when you're taking 2 to 3 a game. It's just my opinion on it.
Okay. And we already discussed your Tim Duncan high versus my Tim Duncan low. So
yeah, we went through the Duncan conversations, but yeah, that's our top 15 recap. Obviously, let us know in the comments below on your top 15 list or top 5. It's always interesting to hear because everyone's opinions are so different. I was talking to some guy yesterday and he had Steph in the top 5, and I was like, nah, can't. Conversation ends there for me. That's just not happening. But and then the conversation did end. But on to the dead ball review. This is your segment, so you go ahead, lead it off.
Yes, Steph Curry won Finals MVP. Yeah, I don't know about top 5, man.
Yeah, no, I
don't know what to tell you.
The conversation was ended immediately. I had to walk out of the room. I go, guys, this I can't. We're done talking here. That was crazy.
All right, dead ball review. Indiana Pacers. So the Hardwood Huddle is part of one of our segments. We like to kind of pause the clock and reflect on the NBA team whose season has come to an end and is dead balled, and we kind of just discuss how it ended and what they got going on in the offseason in preparation for next season. So the dead ball review today is on the Indiana Pacers. Last year they finished with a record of 50-32, which was 5th in the Eastern Conference, and the playoff outcome they lost in Game 7 of the NBA Finals. So they had one of the most surprising seasons that we've seen in a while.
Yeah.
For the season breakdown, they finished the regular season mostly good health and with momentum. Wins near the end of the season include a win in Denver, 2 wins against Cleveland, which Cleveland Cavaliers were the number 1 team in the East, and a 53-point destruction of the Wizards,
Crazy.
which obviously I feel like the Wizards, we just have to reevaluate everything when you start losing by that much at the end of your season.
Right.
So shout out to the Pacers for their regular season, but their highlights, man, the playoffs, they killed it. Tyrese Halliburton turned into a superstar before our eyes at the end of games. He pretty much has a better average than LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, you name it. Tyrese Halliburton, that's the guy. I want the ball in his hands at the end of the games, apparently. Everyone on the roster proved clutch. I remember a lot of Andrew Nembhard plays that were amazing. Pascal Siakam pulled them from from the regions of Loserville when they needed it, and they came out lackluster in the first half, I think, against New York in the conference finals.
Yeah.
They had magical comeback after magical comeback, including some a wonderful comeback against the Bucks in the first round. I remember the Bucks being up like 8 with 50 seconds to go and in overtime, and Pacers coming back and winning. A comeback to beat Cleveland that included like some free throw rebounding dunks, which are crazy from I think Aaron Neesmith. And they also came back from like 9 points down with less than a minute to go. A clutch 3-pointer and the choke sign to actually take the game into overtime and then beat the Knicks there, even though the Knicks had a decent lead in overtime also. And you have a game-winning shot in the NBA Finals. So it was like magical run after magical run, which came to an end when I get to the season lowlights. I'll tell you that one. And another highlight was they had Johnny Murphy, I believe that's his name, Johnny Furphy, under team control through 2028. Did you see that summer league dunk he had over Noah Assengui on the Bulls?
Yes, that was crazy. Just that freeze frame photo of that dunk is terrible for Noah Essengay. I feel terrible because he's a rookie and he's coming into the NBA, and then he already has that photo just to kind of like linger in the back of his head. It's like, nah, it's terrible. But the dunk was ridiculous.
That's a guy that they're going to potentially depend on moving forward in this season as Tyrese Halliburton, season lowlights. Tyrese Halliburton suffered an Achilles injury in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, which means we might not see him again until the 2026-2027 season, which is highly disappointing, given that it was a entertaining finals, despite the naysayers. Pacers Thunder was an entertaining finals up until that Achilles injury in Game 7. Pascal Siakam tried to hold the fort down. That didn't happen. And they immediately lost their starting center, Miles Turner, as a free agent to the division rival Milwaukee Bucks. So not a great end to their season and started their offseason. Offseason outlooks, core contracts locked in through 2026. Halliburton, Nembhard, Siakam, Obi Toppin, Aaron Neesmith. They basically everybody, man. Everybody that they had on the championship roster, besides Miles Turner, will be back next season, and the season afterwards. They're locked in for at least 2 years. Notable free agents: Miles Turner left to Milwaukee. James Wiseman returned on a 2-year deal. Isaiah Jackson returned on a 3-year deal.
Yep.
Cap situation, they're 20th in the league in cap space and will not have to pay the luxury tax. Of course, the Pacers see that their superstar point guard is injured and decide, you know what, we're not paying the luxury tax. They haven't
Yeah.
paid it in 20 years, um, which I don't know if that's going to have an effect on um, how people view the Pacers. But yeah, that they're not paying any tax. In the draft room, they drafted Cam Jones with the 30th overall pick out of Marquette. He's actually a pretty good guard,
Yeah.
and he will potentially see early playing time as well. When you got T.J. McConnell probably running things, Furphy backing him up, and then Cam Jones seeing some spot minutes early, which is great for a second round pick. Trades and signings. They received Jay Huff from the Grizzlies for 1 second round pick and 1 second round pick swap. He's a center that played for the Grizzlies and actually was pretty good for them in limited minutes. I believe
Yeah.
he was like fourth in blocks in the NBA per 36 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
And I think he shoots like 40% from the 3 point line. I think he's their Miles Turner light, if you
Yeah.
want to put it that way, to make up for that loss. And they didn't have to give up much for him. Another trade that they made was actually in the middle of the NBA Finals. They traded this year's first round pick, their 23rd overall pick, to and the rights to Mojave King to New Orleans for their own pick back in the 2026 NBA draft. So
It's like they
that's
knew
great that
something
they
was going to
control their
happen.
own. Yeah, they control their own destiny when it comes to whether you go for a playoff spot or uh, go the tanking route. Player exit quote from Miles Turner: "Quote: Saying goodbye is never easy, especially so abruptly." Unquote. But question, I got a couple questions for you, sir. Will question number one: Will this Pacers finals run be remembered?
Absolutely. I don't see a world where it doesn't. I mean, you go in round one, you play the Cavs, right? Or no, you play the Bucks in round one. You have that 8 point comeback in 50 seconds, which was ridiculous. And then you have the Tyrese Halliburton dad situation with Giannis gets him banned for the entire playoffs until the finals. Then you beat the number one seed Cavs, and then you get lucky and don't have to play the Boston Celtics because the Knicks beat them, and you have a great series, 6 games, I believe, against the Knicks. Fun one for me to watch. And then obviously you go to 7 in the NBA Finals against like one of the most dominant teams we've seen, especially on the defensive side of things in the Oklahoma City Thunder with their MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah, so my opinion, I believe that this Finals run will be remembered, especially for some NBA heads. Like it'll be forgotten for the casuals, but for the real fans out there, they'll remember this one for sure.
I think that's where I was going with it in terms of um, memory. I think a lot of people don't remember second place. And if the Pacers aren't to ever return to those upper levels, I'm not sure if it'll be remembered, even though it as spectacular as it was. I remember the Miami Heat had a wonderful run to the NBA Finals as the eighth seed,
Yep.
including a complete destruction of the number one team, Milwaukee Bucks. But how memorable is that when the Nuggets beat them 4-1 in the finals? So that's one of those things. I feel like I'm not I'm not sure if it'll be remembered, but as of now, I mean that was a great personal memory of mine. And
Oh
I
yeah.
hope Tyrese Halliburton can actually come back healthy enough to retain that magic.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Number two, how attractive is Indiana as a player destination moving forward?
Um, Not very attractive, I'd say. I still think I think a lot of players are like, okay, like they some players weren't going to see this coming, and nobody kind of saw it coming, right? Like to get to Game 7 of the NBA Finals, but especially with Tyrese Halliburton hurt, maybe after that 26-27 season when he's back and healthy and he has a full 82 underneath his belt again. Um, I'd say maybe then, but not for this next upcoming free agency class. I don't think so, unless something completely changes this year and they have like another weird like eighth seed run or like a play-in run or something with the guys that aren't hurt. But yeah, no, I don't think it's too attractive just yet. Just yet. Do you think it's attractive so far, or attractive now?
I can see reclamation projects being interested. I could see veterans near the end of their time being interested, especially given the state of the Eastern Conference right now. I'll give an example. I think Russell Westbrook's still a free agent, and the Pacers are missing a point guard right now because Tyrese Halliburton is going to be missing the majority of the season. So if Russell Westbrook were to decide to join the Pacers, that he might have a starting spot waiting for him. His minutes would be managed because they got a lot of young guys behind him. He'd actually be able to be a veteran presence that also has finals experience, and that whole team under their belt could actually make a run with the coach that they have in Rick Carlisle too. So a point guard like Russell Westbrook, I got him top 15 overall. So in my opinion, he would make a guy like Jay Huff better. And the Pacers rebounding as a whole would improve under his watch. And I think that they could actually be attractive to particular players. Now, when we're talking about superstars, they'll never be attractive to them because they will not pay the tax. So guys who want 30 to 40 or $50 million a year plus will not be able to get their money from the Pacers because they're not going to go into the tax to do it. It's to be determined if they'll do it for their own players, let alone a free agent.
Yeah.
Let's see.
The Russell Westbrook, that makes sense now that I think about it. I feel like he's a king, though. I feel like from everything that we're seeing.
If he doesn't want to make the playoffs,
I mean,
sure, go to Sacramento. Number 3, did the Pacers overplay their hand with the Miles Turner departure? They seemed to bet that there wouldn't be any eligible suitors to meet Turner's salary demands, but Milwaukee surprised them by waiving and stretching Damian Lillard to make it work, and now he's going to a division rival. Do you think they overplayed their hand with Miles Turner?
That the Miles Turner situation to me is still a weird one, because it was so like, whoa, like what, like this is like how, it was first, whoa, and then it was like, wait, the money doesn't work here, and then it was the waiving and extending his contract long, but I don't even know if Miles Turner did not have a good finals, like he just did not, he didn't do the things that he needed to do as the starting center of a championship team. It's obviously he didn't expect for them to be a championship team, I bet, in the first place anyway. But no, I don't know. I don't know if they really underpaid him or tried to underpay him. I don't even know if they even gave him a contract, because maybe I saw something that the Bucks were like, it was like a take it or leave it deal. Like, hey, like this is on the table, this is the money we'll give you. But if you like say like no right now, like it's not going to come back. Like like if you go talk to the Pacers, it's going to be like the money won't be here for you. And then with that exit quote, saying goodbye is never easy, especially when so abrupt. I mean, even to himself, it seemed like very quick and not like by the book, like how a normal free agency like signing would go. So maybe I don't know. That is my answer to that question. I don't know, because that situation is confusing to me. Yourself, what do you think? Did the Pacers overplay their hand with Miles Turner?
Yeah, a little bit of both, because I think that the Pacers might have been willing to go over the cap to keep Miles Turner until the Achilles injury to Tyrese Halliburton. So they might have felt that they weren't going to compete this next season. They have their own draft pick. If they lose Miles Turner, that's fine because if they decide to tank, you got some killers coming up in the rookie class next season.
Yeah.
That can take that place, and even a guy like Jay Huff they traded for is serviceable in that he gave you the numbers that Jay Huff provided last season were the kind of numbers that Miles Turner was looking at in the NBA Finals this season. So it's almost like maybe you are just riding the line or whatever. But I think that if the Halliburton injury didn't happen, I think the Pacers would have still probably lost Turner because I don't think that they were willing to go over a certain number, and they didn't think they had that Turner had any suitors given the cap situation around the league.
Yeah, no, I mean it like it was random. Like it was a very like abrupt signing. Like it didn't make sense. Like and then it obviously ended up making sense because of the events after.
Yeah. Last question. Would you tank, given that you have control over your 2026 first round pick and likely won't have Halliburton for the season? Would you tank the season?
I don't know. Yeah, right. Like that's like the best answer to give, and I feel like that's the easy answer. Is because of the top three in this class with Boozer, Dybansta, and Patterson, Darren Patterson. I don't know his name fully. I'll learn it though. But I'd say yes is the answer. I think when you have a guy like Nembhard on your team who is like we saw can score at will, right? Like he is a good scorer. We'll see how it is without Tyrese and him being kind of like the main ball handler in the system. But yeah, I'd say tank. I'd say, I mean, we saw like a play-in team get the number 1 overall pick. So how much do you really need to tank? Like right? Like the numbers kind of there itself. So I'd say probably stay like maybe not in the playoffs, but in that little middle of like that trash area of the Eastern Conference is what I'd say. So yeah, I'd tank. Yourself, what do you think the Pacers should tank?
Darren Peterson.
Darren Peterson. There we go.
Yeah, he's going to Kansas. Interesting choices for some of these guys, like Devonta going to BYU and stuff.
Right.
But anyways, I feel that it's a dangerous game to play doing the tank thing after making the NBA Finals. I'm not sure about the trust level in the team as a whole. If you watch them go to the NBA Finals one year and then you know how difficult it is to miss the playoffs in the Eastern Conference.
10 games under 500. It's going to be a lot harder for them to tank than people think it's going to be.
10 games under 500 made the playoffs last season. So I don't think you can. Almost even if you wanted to, I don't think you can unless you feel that the NBA will give the team with the least worst record the number 1 draft pick again, like they did the Mavericks. Give in the lottery. But I think it would be really difficult for them to lose a bunch of games, be 15, 20 games under 500, given the coach, given the playoff experience with those guys. Yeah. They're literally missing 2 starters. And you're telling me that's the difference between a 50-win team and like a 20-win team?
I mean, Tyrese Halliburton is the engine of that team, right? So, I mean, you do have Pascal Siakam.
Look at his numbers. Look at his numbers, though. Look at his regular season numbers where they like.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't high. They were terrible at the beginning of the regular season, and they like brought it in after the All-Star break, and kind of like what you said, like that momentum helped them carry it into the playoffs. So yeah, I don't know. The tank, obviously teams aren't going to tank. I'm going to be like, oh yeah, go tank and go get a top 3 guy in the draft like that. Yeah, like if I'm playing 2K, that's what I'm doing. Like I'm getting Dyvanster or Boozer or Peterson or Patterson. I forgot his name already. But yeah, like that's what I would do in 2K. But yeah, no, it's NBA. Real life NBA is a little different than 2K, obviously. So that plays a lot into it. But I'm interested to see how they actually turn up this season without Tyrese and without Miles Turner and Jay Huff starting at center if that's their guy. And I like their rookie Cam Jones. I wanted the Suns to get him in the draft. So I think I think the Pacers are going to be all right. They knew something was going to happen in the finals. That's why they got that pick back. That's why they got that pick back at the end of the day. But all right, where can they find you?
I am at the Hero Joe, THAHEROJOE, on X, formerly known as Twitter, and also on Instagram. And you can find my articles on BellyUpSports.com. How about yourself?
You can find me on Twitter at Hammy2004, HAMIE, not HAMMY, so HAMIE 2004. That's where you can find me on Twitter. You can find us on Twitter at Hardwood Huddle. The Hardwood Huddle was taken. Thank you to BellyUp Sports once again for giving us this show. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with anybody. It helps us out a lot. The off season doesn't have too much to go into, so we're not going to have as many shows like weekly as we would during the regular season and like how we did during the playoffs. But you know that's a given. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. So, all right, Hidro, have a good one.
Peace.